Hi, and welcome back to the Food Fund, where we analyze investing in food stocks, beverage stocks, and restaurant stocks. If you are new here, our goal is to help you put your money where your mouth is and invest in the best food companies. Is a home-style Italian food company a good investment? In this video we will be analyzing if Mama's Creations stock is a buy. Could Mama's Creations, stock ticker symbol MAMA, be on the fast track to be a 10-bagger? Let's find out. We have a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Cue the logo. Before we get started, a quick thanks to John Sarowski for suggesting this analysis. Now let's start with some background info on Mama's Creations. Mama's Creations was founded in 2010 by Daniel Mancini. Mancini was looking to leverage a rich history in Italian food and decided to run the company as a marketer and manufacturer of fresh deli prepared foods. Growth was quick and the company was headquartered in New Jersey. Today, Mama's Creations has expanded their focus beyond Italian fare. They offer a variety of fresh, high quality, and easy to prepare deli options across multiple brands, with products gracing the shelves of over 8,400 grocery stores, mass retailers, and convenience stores across the United States. Now let's look at the price action. Starting with the 1-year chart, we see that Mama's Creations had a CAGR of about 152%. Zooming out to the 5-year chart, we see that Mama's Creations had a CAGR of 67%. The growth has just been outstanding. Mama's Creations share price had been a steady climber and continues on the upward trend. If we perform a backtest comparison of investing $10,000 in Mama's Creations versus the S&P 500, we find some strong results for Mama's Creations. In that comparison with the S&P 500, $10,000 invested in Mama's Creations would have grown to $24,676, or a 38% CAGR, versus $12,533, or an 8% CAGR if invested in the S&P 500. This demonstrates outperformance for Mama's Creations. A Mama's Creations investment would have been more volatile with a 65% standard deviation versus 18% for the S&P 500. Mama's Creations outperformed the S&P 500 in terms of the best year performance, for which Mama's Creations grew 174% versus S&P 500 26%, but underperformed the worst year performance, where Mama's Creations fell 28% versus the S&P 500 18% fall. In terms of max drawdown, Mama's Creations fell 63%, more than the max drawdown of 24% for the S&P 500. Mama's Creations did, however, outperform the S&P 500 in comparisons using the Sharpe ratio and the Sortino ratio despite its excess volatility. Let's take a look at the fundamentals. Gross margin is 29%. This is on par with similar companies. Revenue has compounded at around 29% over the past 5 years and has reached over $103 million most recently. This is very good growth. Looking at cash flow, we see a 52% CAGR over the last 5 years for operating cash flow, while capex has worsened at a 5% CAGR. As a result, free cash flow has grown at a 92% CAGR. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do it. Growing operating cash flow with slow growing capex is the recipe for excellent free cash flow growth. I'm starting to love this company as much as I love pasta, and I love pasta. Weighted average shares outstanding have risen over the last 5 years, going from 34.3 million shares in 2020 to 38.4 million shares most recently. Mama's Creations has been diluting shareholders. However, I am not clear on why they are doing this. They have been free cash flow positive for at least the last 5 years. Why are they continuing to dilute shareholders? Now let's view return on invested capital. Return on invested capital has fallen from 64.8% in 2021 to 28.6% in 2023. Thought the drop is not ideal. It looks like Mama's Creations has been improving return on invested capital since 2022. I like the trend upwards. Another favorite metric is cash conversion cycle, a measure of operational efficiency regarding supplier and payer leverage as well as inventory control. Going from 3 days in 2020 to -11 days most recently, Mama's Creations has gotten more efficient over time. I love to see this. The negative value is one of my favorite things about this company. Now, let's look at Mama's Creations debt. The net debt to EBITDA has decreased over the past 5 years, going from 2.1 in 2020 to 0.2 most recently. Again, this is amazingly great. They are paying down debt and have good earnings growth. What is not to love? The fundamentals of Mama's Creations are great. In any event, should it be added to the portfolio? Before sharing my final thoughts on that, please click the like button and let YouTube know that you like the content. Subscribe and click the notification bell to make sure you catch the latest videos. Your continued support means so much to the food fund. Now, let's get into my final thoughts. Okay, let's go to the spreadsheet and write out some key values for Mama's Creations. It is a food company with a gross margin of 29%. The 5-year revenue per share CAGR is 26% and the 5-year free cash flow per share CAGR is 86%. This is a juggernaut food company. Good gross margins and great revenue and free cash flow growth show that there is a strong consumer base that loves the company's products. A return on invested capital of 29% is really good. Next, the cash conversion cycle of -11 days is also really good. Concerning debt, a net debt to EBITDA of 0.2 means that it would take Mama's Creations a little over 2 months of earnings to pay back their debt. So from a fundamental standpoint, Mama's Creations looks really great. Now let's switch our attention over to valuation. Mama's Creations is overvalued relative to the S&P 500 with a ratio of 1.5. The price to earnings growth, or PEG ratio, is unable to be calculated. Likely because Mama's Creations is such a small and relatively new company. Mama's Creations is a good company. Yes, it is small and so growth looks good. They have great margins and are growing revenue and free cash flow. Investments in the company have paid off tremendously with return on invested capital doing well and rising. My only gripe is the shareholder dilution. Despite generating a growing amount of free cash flow and growing their cash pile, the company is still continuing to dilute shareholders. Closer investigation reveals that the sales were by insiders seeking liquidity. Matthew Brown and Karen Wolf, daughter of Carl Wolf, the prior CEO and chairman, sold 5,629,921 shares at $3.50 per share to net the couple $19.7 million. The company did not receive any proceeds from the sale. While this sale seems to have been all of the couple's shares, it is not clear if and when other insiders might sell. This does give me pause because a dilution event could happen at any time. Outside of the dilution issue, the valuation is a bit rich, but the company is growing and deserves to command a premium. The company is also a bit smaller than those I typically cover on this channel with a market cap of just above $250 million. All in all, Mama's Creations has intrigued me and I look forward to following this company more closely. For me, Mama's Creations is going on the watch list. Many thanks for watching. What do you think about Mama's Creations, and please be sure to let me know what other companies you want me to analyze. Please share your thoughts below. It is always great to hear from you. Please check out some more videos right now and don't forget to put your money where your mouth is.